So good morning, this is Samundishwari from the Department of English. In this case study video, we are going to see the topic case study on usage of active and passive voice and its difficulties. So already I have posted the two videos, part 1, part 2 of active and passive voice. The following case study video will help you to identify the difficulties and problems which is faced by an individual to understand the topic. So why I have made this particular case study video in the sense when we are correcting a paper or else when we are offering test based on this active and passive voice, what are all the areas students used to make mistakes. So that mistakes alone make me to make this video. So with the help of that I can make you to clear the point where we used to make a mistake when you are applying the active and passive voice rules in a sentence. So to understand this, we must know what is voice first of all. So voice is a term that is used to denote the form of the verb which shows if the subject in a given sentence is the performer or the receiver of an action. The voice of a verb describes the relationship between action and the participants, that is the subject and the object in a sentence. So here we have a slide of usage of voice and its difficulties. So in voice, we know that the influence of tense is over predominant and changing from tense form to another tense form, confusing with verb forms, that is may not sure about the tense form of the verb form. For instance, write, wrote, written. So students are most familiar with the regular usage of verbs. If some new verbs comes in the sense, they felt it's difficult to know right answer for the past tense or past participle form. So they don't have a clear idea of it. And next one is lack of awareness about grammar rules and lack of practice for any type of a grammar topics. Lack of practice will not yield you the better result. So rules to be followed when converting the active to the passive voice. So already I told you that if a person knows the importance of tenses and what we are doing with the applying rules of tenses, in the sense that will make him to understand very clear about the active and passive voice undoubtedly. Because what people are doing in the sense, if we have, if like I used to give a practice sentence during my class time. So what they will do in the sense, they will not focus on the rules and what they are supposed to do and all. Straight away they used to write answer. So what since the grammar topics are traveled with us since from our sixth standard and all. So what they used to do after getting the questions, if it is a present tense, they put their answer in a past tense form. If it is in the past tense, then it is in a past perfect, something like that. So those things will not be applicable for all type of a grammar, right? So that thing should not be done by an individual. So you should apply the rules. If because grammar is like a mathematical formula, so when you are applying the formula in a right place, you will get an answer properly. Similarly, if you understand the grammar rules, then you can very confident over it. You can say my answer is right, I brought my answer by applied this way. So here again I just recalling the rules which you have used in active and passive voice transformation. So demarcation of a sentence, identify the types of a tense form, do not change the tense form of a sentence, change the subject into object, and using helping verb, use past participle form of verb, and use object into subject. So what these are all the things will do in the sense. So in the slight difference between tense and voice is, in a tense you can able to, you have given with the freedom to change the sentence into rest of the 11 forms. So the very first rule is thing is that you are not supposed to change the sentence as like what you have done in the tenses. So this is the major difference between tense and voice. So instant what supposed to do. In the sense, you have to identify whether the given sentence, however the given sentence will be in a form of any eight, whether it might be a present tense or it might be a past tense, it like a continuous, present continuous, past continuous, something like present perfect, past perfect and future perfect. So you are going to bring the mere equivalent passive voice. So this thing you should be remember it. In active to passive voice sentence, the answer is already a key. If you identified the tense form of a sentence, I am going to give the mere equivalent form of a sentence. I am going to give a mere equivalent form of a sentence. So if you remember the word in the sense, then you can apply the rest of the rules as you have studied in the school time. So change object into subject, place, use helping verb. So while placing the helping verb up, look at your subject. If your subject is singular, in the sense, use singular form of a verb, whereas if your subject is plural, in the sense, use plural form of a verb. And after placing the helping verb, look at the main verb and write down the past participle form of the main verb. So these are all the things to be mandatory to complete the answer. So once you have done all those things, in the sense, you can derive your answer very easily. So if it is a past tense passive based sentence, in the sense, like after writing the past participle form of your verb, you can write down by, which referring the sentence in a form of passive voice, and complete it with change the object into the subject into the object place. So yeah, I hope this video will help you to understand where the students used to commit mistake and what are all the possible areas to be changed when you are addressing the active and passive voice sentence. With this, I conclude my video. Thank you all.